Hey everyone, I hope you're all having a fantastic day so far. I thought to myself, why not talk about my year? So, this is the beginning and the start of my fresh new year, and it's an opportunity for me to be grateful for what I've done so far, but also an opportunity to really focus and look at the things that I could improve upon or the goals I haven't really achieved. And I guess the first thing, that I really want to hit home on this time is the appropriateness of the type of people that you have in your life. And really, what this means is, if you have nice people in your life, but they don't really serve a purpose, then you kind of need to have an arm's length away from them, so to speak. If you have bad people in your life, you need to remove yourself from those environments. If you have people in your life who really want the best for you, but don't really sort of like bring out the right energy themselves, you kind of need to leave an arm's length as well. But if you have those people who have the right mixture, who want the best for you, who know what they need to do for themselves, and they don't bring around toxic energy, those are the people you need to have in your life. So rather than just saying, I want to cut off all negative people, it's more about being clear about the appropriate people that you want in your life. And this is nothing personal to anyone or anything else, but you just need to be very observant to it, because it really does determine what you do in the future. These people who may be nice but not so appropriate, maybe inviting you to different things and X, Y, and Z, and for whatever reason, you end up to those things, and it just doesn't really work out for you from any perspective. So I would say to you, be very strong with sticking in the right environments, and don't be afraid to do what you need to do, and that's making sure appropriateness is in your life. The second thing for me personally is making sure that you're as honest as possible. And really what this means is being honest with yourself, and to other people. Because if you're not honest, with yourself or to other people, then your life is going to be a lie. And if your life is a lie, you're not really going to produce the right sort of value. Value is important because it means that you're living some sort of purposeful life, a life full of ambition, a life full of purpose, a life full of fulfillment and satisfaction. And everything we do, every emotion that we feel is based around feeling this satisfaction, feeling this, fulfillment, and feeling like we have an ambition to fulfill a purpose on this life. Is very clear now. People ask what the meaning of life is, and I think that was an old school sort of question that we asked ourselves, but I think it's pretty clear now. No one should be confused. The meaning of life is determined by the meaning you give it. You align yourself to things that effectively really do sort of follow suit with the characteristics that you have, follow suit with your ideologies and your beliefs and your experiences, and then you make sure you do that thing very well. So that's how you define the meaning of your life. If you don't know already, that is the meaning. The third thing I would say is learning how to commit to a cause, learning how to be really, really diligent and persistent, but intelligent and focused with what you're doing. Following one course until successful, focus, is not an underused word in my sort of dictionary. It's something that is so true. Learning how to commit is important, because when you learn how to commit, it means that you have, a desire, that you're trying to achieve something. You're trying to make something invisible to the visible. You're trying to make something that is non-existent tangible. Okay, so once you have that desire, you turn that desire into a definite purpose. And with that definite purpose, it must be backed by a sense of persistence, commitment, but intelligent planning. Because if you don't have the right planning, it doesn't really work out. So from committing to a cause, you need to have some plan. Learning all this stuff about business, marketing, the online world, just relationship building and leadership, is that it's important for you not only to understand certain aspects, but you need to plan and strategize effectively. Some people say you don't need a plan, X, Y, and Z. I'm not saying you need to go hard all the time with a plan, but what I'm saying is you need to have a structure and a process to follow. That's how you get closer to perfection. And we ever get perfection? No, but getting a sort of real result is perfection in itself. That's how I see it. And you want to improve upon that perfection as much as possible, because you brought into reality, you want to make it even better and bolder and bigger and shinier. So make sure that you have a plan. The fifth thing, I think it's the fifth thing, is really making sure that from that plan, from that process, that you take action. Don't be afraid to take action, because I have this saying, mass imperfect action gets results. Why? Because you're taking action on mass. and you're able to see what works and what doesn't work. So you're able to discard, the nonsense and the riffraff from the quality and the shiny thing. So learn to take mass imperfect action. And when I say learn to, I'm really saying to myself, continue to learn to take mass imperfect action. You have to, because if you don't, you'll never know if it's going to work. You'll never know if you don't try. So those are 5 things. I'm sure there are other things that pop up in my head. I'd say the 6th thing is really understanding human psychology, understanding behavior, understanding communication, understanding emotional and social intelligence, or fitness, as some people would say. Really getting to grips with what it means to be human. What are the motivations behind what people do? Because once you understand human psychology, once you understand people's form of language and communication, how they sort of like transfer ideas, messages and thoughts and concepts and beliefs and motivations, then you have influence, you have a better sense of control. And the best way to really understand other people is to just observe them. Because if you haven't noticed, people who go down this line of study, who really observe other people and understand them really well, understand themselves better as well, because it means that you have better control. And that comes on to the 7th thing. Learn to become disciplined. Learn to adopt the right habits. Learn to manage your mind. I have a book out that's called Understand, Reach, Expand, 15 Super Effective Ways to Manage Your Mind. I believe we can manage our mind. Can we control it completely? I'm going to leave that up to you. But manage it, yes, we can. We can manage and condition our thoughts in such a way that is aligned to a focus, to a theme of pattern and thinking, so that you can actually achieve the things that you need to achieve. Tony Robbins talks about a success wheel, a success cycle, and it starts off like this. It starts off with potential. We all have latent energy within us, and our environments and the people around us really sort of, I would say, contribute to that potential. But it's really up to you to decide what that potential is. It's based on, how you feel, believe, and everything else. With that latent potential energy, you take action. You take action in the form of, what you want to do in your business, what you do at work, what you do at home, what you do with your friends. And these little actions or big actions accumulate these different results, because these results that are embedded are the things that are going to make you believe certain things about your life. And then once you have these beliefs, it goes back into your latent energy. It tops up and it continues around the cycle. And that's why people live in certain environments and people don't live in certain environments. Now, is this completely true? Can people help their environments all the time? No, they can't. That's the truth. They can't do that all the time. But what they can do is rely upon hope. What they can do is rely upon trying to find a solution. Sometimes people won't always have a solution. Sometimes it's a matter of time, but that hope that they have, that training and that practice and the little sort of moments that they have is so important, because if they don't continue to do those things and hoping that something will change, then nothing will change. And that's a really hard thing to understand. That's a really hard thing to grasp. In the book Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, he talks about this. He basically says you can't change the stimulus. You can change how you respond to that stimulus. In other words, you can't change what happens in your environment. Yes, you can to an extent. You can influence it here and there. But sometimes things just happen. Sometimes life likes to be dynamic. It throws things into your face. But what you have to do is train yourself to be resilient. I can't stress this enough. Somebody I used to work with, who I still speak to, a really nice friend of mine, she said, Mike, you're extremely resilient. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, it doesn't matter what happens, you just get on with it. Rain or shine, bad or good, you just get on with it. And I felt that's quite touching. But when I reflected upon that, I was like, wow, resilience is key, really. If you are resilient, i.e. you know what you want, you know what you're about, you understand all those things, then there's no real issues, because you know what the task is. So for me, it's continuing to be resilient and understanding those factors. So again, this is a freelance video. This is the beginning of my year, as I say. And I want you to remember these things for yourself as well. The last thing I will say is that money is important. We can go deeper. We can talk about all this other stuff about, how it's the root of all evil. You don't really need money to be happy. I'm not talking about happiness and all that stuff. I'm talking about money. Get your money straight. Sort out your personal finances. Make sure that you understand how to raise finance. I'm not talking through loans and credits and stuff. I'm talking through entrepreneurship, business innovation, being creative with what you have or what you could learn, and looking for viable markets that you can actually utilize to make more money. Not exploit, but make more money in a valuable way. So you can be a person of influence who can influence their lives a little bit better as well. Because if you learn how to make money, how to raise it, how to manage it, how to protect it, how to grow it, that's fantastic. Why wouldn't your basic well-being be improved if you had that intelligent thinking, if you had that smart thinking? Because at the end of the day, we want to obtain wealth. Okay, it doesn't have to be masses of money, but for you as a person, relative to your situation, you need to be in a position where you are comfortable, satisfied, and you feel like you've got increased choices and access to different things. And that's why it's important. That's why it's important to make sure that you have your money on point. Because if it's not on point, you're going to get all these unnecessary worries. Does money bring worries as well? I don't think it's money that brings worries. Maybe it highlights different things. You bring the worries all the time. You need to educate yourself. You need to educate yourself. You need to be a bit more intelligent. And that's what life is about. The essence of life is about growth. If it wasn't about growth, or even decline, or some sort of variation, should we say, then life wouldn't be life. It'd just be static. And there'd be non-existence. So life is about variation. You know, it's about success and it's about lessons or challenges, if you want to call it that, or negativity, however you want to call it. It's about variation, and you want to make sure your trajectory is this way. Okay, it's never really going to be this. It's going to be like this. Okay, some people it's like that and it just goes back. You don't want it to go back. You don't want it to regress. You want it to ascend and move forward. So that's what I would say. This is something for myself. These are my 8 different things I need to think about for myself. And I pray that you also think about these things intelligently, smartly, but with the right sort of action, mental attitude and fortitude and resilience and focus, so you can do the things that you need to do and really smash it for your personal year. Take care. God bless. Check out all my other stuff. I'll leave links below. Peace.